Hello and welcome to Round 4 Flicks. Today we're going to list the best epic fantasy television shows that every fan of the genre should see. Also, we won't be suggesting any well-known or widely watched shows in order to provide you with something fresh and intriguing to watch. Please comment and let us know how many of the fantasy series on this list you have watched. Let's now start the video. Number 10. The Outpost. Jason Fuller is the creator of this fantasy action drama show. The plot centers on Talon, the only black blood survivor 10 years after a group of brutal mercenaries massacred her entire town. In order to find her family's killers, Talon journeys to a lawless castle on the outskirts of civilization. While there she discovers that she possesses a special and mysterious supernatural power that she must learn to control in order to save herself and the world from a violent religious leader. The first season of the program begins out slowly, but it gets better with each new episode, so I recommend sticking with it. You won't get bored watching it because there are great characters, lots of monsters, and action to keep you interested. Number 9. Atlantis. It is a Greek mythology-inspired fantasy adventure series. Jason is the main character of the show, which is set in the present and follows him as he pilots a one-man submarine to investigate the deep water disturbance that caused his father to disappear when he was a little lad. When Jason locates the location, the submarine immediately malfunctions, drawing him into a white light. Jason unexpectedly awakens on the shores of the legendary Atlantis, which is controlled by an upstanding monarch named Minos and his crafty ambitious wife, Queen Pasiphae. Pythagoras and former boxing champion Hercules grant him shelter as they embody Greek mythology, work to uphold morality, and stand up for the weak. Along the way, the trio faces off against monsters, demons, and other magical beings and gains a number of allies. The show has certain flaws, but if you want to see what an Atlantis would look like, you should watch it. The show's intriguing story will appeal to fantasy fans. Number 8. SIREN. Eric Wald is the creator of this fantasy drama series. The story is set in Bristol Cove, Washington, a seaside town well known for tales of mermaids and mermen that lived there for years. This peaceful community is flipped upside down when a weird young woman arrives and starts making havoc in the small fishing town in an effort to find her elder sister who was kidnapped by the local military. The war between man and the water intensifies as Rin, an interesting new girl with a terrible secret, sparks affections in Ben, a skilled marine biologist, and these predatory monsters return to retake their area of the ocean. Ben and Maddie, two marine biologists, on the other hand, collaborate to discover what or who compelled the deep water mermaids to land. Overall, the show is fantastic and very engaging, and once you start watching, you won't be able to stop yourself from binge watching it due to its amazingness. Number 7. Emerald City. This fantasy drama series was inspired by the early 20th century Oz book series by L. Frank Baum. The wizard, the all-powerful ruler of the realm, is terrified when a storm transports Dorothy Gale from Lucas, Kansas, far away to the city of Oz, where her presence triggers a prophecy about a dreadful event known as the Beast Forever. On her route to Emerald City to meet the wizard, Dorothy comes across witches, an amnesiac soldier, a guarded young boy, and many more intriguing people. The fate of Oz and Dorothy's place in it will ultimately be decided by these beings. This book will appeal to fans of the television show Once Upon a Time since it includes enough of simmering romances, creatures, magic, and prophecies to keep you engaged. Number 6. Moon Knight. Jeremy Slater is the creator of this superhero fantasy series. It is based on the fictitious superhero from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel Comics. It is the 6th television show that continues the storylines from the franchise's movies. The story is centered on Stephen Grant, a good-hearted employee at a gift shop who starts having seizures and having visions of a past life. They were ambushed by unknown enemies, but when Stephen realized he had dissociative identity disorder and that mercenary Mark Spector shared a body with him, they were drawn into a dangerous mystery involving the potent gods of ancient Egypt. In order to survive, they must now negotiate their complicated identities. The series is an action-packed fantasy journey that travels the world and will keep you on the edge of your seat. Number 5. Midnight Mass. Mike Flanagan is the creator and director of this supernatural fantasy horror series. The series centers on a young man named Riley Flynn, who serves 4 years in prison for murdering someone in a drunk driving accident, and then returns to his isolated birthplace on Crockett Island in an effort to rebuild his life. Naturally, he emerges at the same time as a charismatic young priest who seems to be working miracles in the neighborhood because, you guessed it, evil is in the making as strange and horrible events occur. But what makes Midnight Mass so terrifying is how the show treats religion as a perilous legendary creature, and the lengths people will go to in trying to comprehend it. This show is worth seeing. It grows slowly but is not to be missed. Number 4. Black. Kim Hong-sun is the director of this fantasy thriller series. Han Moo-gang is the main character of the story, who joins the regional crime unit detective team in an effort to discover the truth about a case that took place 20 years ago, but after he tragically dies, the Grim Reaper takes charge of him and makes him search for his missing mate. During the investigation, he discovers the truth regarding a series of 20-year-old cold case homicides. The inquiry into the murders complicates the Grim Reaper's primary task of leading the deceased to their different afterlives, especially after he falls in love with a mortal woman named Khan Haram and breaks magical laws forbidding him from doing so. Unexpectedly able to see the clouds of death, Khan Haram and his allies utilize this ability to violate God's laws in order to save people's lives. Overall, the show is excellent and has a compelling plot with numerous unexpected turns that hooks you from the very first episode. Number 3. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. It is a 7-part British historical fantasy television series that is based on Susanna Clarke's best-selling 2004 novel of the same name. The story is set in a recreated 19th century England where magic is widely believed but infrequently applied. The main character of the story is Gilbert Norrell, a reclusive but highly skilled magician who has a deep knowledge of magic's history. He uses his books to study magic and is hired by the British government to help the soldiers in their war with France. Jonathan Strange, a young and attractive novice magician, is the other main character and is testing his skills. However, their rivalry intensifies as they strive to become the best magicians in England in order to support their country in its battle with France. This series is a must-watch for fantasy aficionados and is perfect if you like the Harry Potter movies. It has a great tale that takes us to a world beyond our wildest dreams. Number 2. Forever. Matt Miller is the creator of this fantasy crime drama series. The story revolves around Dr. Henry Morgan, an immortal medical examiner in New York City who uses his extensive knowledge to assist the NYPD in solving crimes and discover a way to terminate his immortality. Each episode includes brief glances into various facets of Henry's life. His first passing happened 200 years ago, while attempting to treat a slave on a ship engaged in the transatlantic slave trade. Every time Henry passes away, he disappears almost immediately, and then resurfaces in a nearby river. Henry has lived a long life and has amassed a wealth of knowledge and exceptional observational skills that impress everyone he meets, including Detective Joe Martinez of the New York Police Department. His best friend Abe is the only one who is aware of his secret. The main drawback is that there is just one season, but if you love the Lucifer series, you will adore this show. Number 1. Penny Dreadful. John Logan is the creator of this dark fantasy horror series. The series is set in London in 1891, and revolves around Neith Chandler, an American assassin who is employed by the valiant Malcolm Murray and the stunning Vanessa Ives to help save Murray's daughter from an unidentified threat. In a similar way, they are helped by a young doctor named Victor Frankenstein. As they search, they come across other renowned people like Dorian Gray and Frankenstein's creatures, each of whom has their own objectives for battling evil and darkness in the world. However, things take a turn for the worse when Vanessa Ives falls in love with the charming, artistic Dorian Gray and learns that a demon is stalking her and wants to make her his wife and queen. In my opinion, this is one of the best shows ever if you want to watch a compelling dark fantasy series with lots of supernatural suspense and mystery. That is all for today. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our channel to view future videos about suggested movies and television shows.